Welcome to 1000 PS here in Austria. Welcome to the introduction of Yamaha's 2024 MT-09.
Yes, folks, you're right in the middle of it instead of just being on the sidelines. You're part of the big 1000 PS Naked Bike Test 2024. It's one of the biggest productions we've ever done. 10 motorcycles are at the start. What's new this time is that we've put motorcycles from different displacement classes into a test environment. Why? This time, we want to take off those rose-tinted glasses a bit and see if the expensive motorcycles are really worth their money. How much better do these expensive motorcycles actually ride compared to the smaller, weaker and cheaper ones? And of course, we also wanted to see if the smaller motorcycles, which we often say ride super well and are sufficient, really hold up in a direct comparison. So, it's exciting for you. We have actually ridden 10 motorcycles in a direct comparison from different displacement and price classes, but all in the category of naked bikes. Overall, depending on the motorcycle, we had 10 to 12 test riders. Among them were Sonko, Amelie, Christoph Horvath, Fowley, Adam Child from England, Martin Bauer, Kurt Rubik and Ewald Baumgartner. This diverse group of riders brought a wide range of perspectives and experiences to the test, providing a comprehensive evaluation of each bike. Their varied backgrounds and riding styles enriched the feedback, making the test results more robust and insightful. Various colleagues from home and abroad contributed their diverse opinions. And, of course, what is also important is that we had challenging test conditions due to the varied weather conditions in spring 2024. We were glad to have IXS Clothing as a sponsor, supporting this whole series. This allowed us to quickly adapt to the various weather conditions. And this little bottle here often saved our day. Motorex ensured that the motorcycles looked better on camera than they did after the rain. Thanks to them for their active support. And the helmet isn't there by chance either. It was my favorite after the test. I tried various HJC helmets on the naked bikes, and I have to say it's a good combination. The RFA 71 Carbon offers a great mix of riding comfort and coolness because it has an integrated sun visor, it has good ventilation, is pleasantly quiet, yet still bold and cool enough to fit perfectly on a naked bike. We have created a score table, a ranking table for you, where we have all the motorcycles in a huge table and each of our test riders could cast their vote. It's interesting for you to see that, of course, the more expensive motorcycles, which were 3 times as expensive as the cheaper models in the test field, overall performed better. But you can now see the relationships for yourselves. Below, we have a link to our 1000 PS website where we have included the complete test table and you can click through the individual tests. And then you can see how each displacement category performed, but you can also see where your favorite, your preferred motorcycle may perform worse. For example, in terms of engine performance, or perhaps better in terms of riding comfort. Yeah, this test table, this ranking table, is sorted in a ranking format, where a higher number indicates a lower ranking in that aspect, whereas a 1 indicates that in that specific aspect, the motorcycle was the best in the entire test field.
So over the years, I think I've lost count of how many Yamaha MT-09s there have been and how many miles I've done on the MT-09, but what has always been precedent is that lovely triple engine and that lovely sweet sound. Now for 2024, Yamaha launched this bike over in Fuerteventura, which unfortunately I just couldn't make, and it was one of those launches I really wanted to go on because the bike is so enjoyable, so usable, so rider friendly and so much fun. Well, that was the old bike. So what Yamaha have done for 2024 is just tweaked it a little bit. They've not repainted the Mona Lisa because it didn't need repainting. So engine and power and torque is virtually the same. They've just changed a few little bits to give it a kind of a little bit more of an intoxicating kind of airbox noise. And then in terms of chassis, it's pretty much similar to as it was before, but the back's just gone up a bit. The front feels like it's a little bit lower. It feels like they've just given it like a bit of a sportier push to try and get it closer to the competition. The MT-09's always been the road kind of middleweight naked competition where bikes like the Triumph for the KTM are more track focused than the Yamaha. So thankfully we've had the opportunity to ride this bike here in Austria on some amazing roads, just really enjoyed it. Tyres, the Bridgestones come to temperature really quick and you can just enjoy this bike straight from the off. There's no really kind of getting to know you period. There's no kind of situation where you're unsure of what's going to happen. It's just a simple, easy to ride bike with plenty of mid-range power and mid-range torque. The switchgear is a little bit unusual. Yamaha have tried to kind of redefine what switchgear is. The indicator switch is like press it once, press it twice, which is a little bit fiddly. I rode the kind of like the sister bike to this, which was the XSR 900 GP, the retro looking kind of cool bike in Portugal a couple of weeks ago. And initially I got on that with the same switchgear and I hated it. But then by lunchtime I got used to it and by the afternoon I quite enjoyed it. And I kind of did the same thing when I jumped on this. I was like, oh no, oh yeah, that's how it works. And the clocks actually are really informative, pretty straightforward, pretty simple. And there's cruise control as standard, which I used a little bit and used the wet mode a little bit when we hit the rain. It is essentially the old MT-09 with a few tweaks. It's gone a little bit sportier, new switchgear, new clocks, and it just sounds a little bit more intoxicating, a little bit more raw, if that's the terminology. But what I love most about the MT-09 is that it is a really good road bike. It's not going to be exceptional on track, it's just going to be exceptional on the road. It's forgiving, it's easy, it's comfortable, it's lazy. You don't have to scream it to over rev it to get the most out of it. It's got so much drive all the way through the rev range and it sounds so sweet. Sure enough, if you want to dance up and down on the quick shifter, which is absolutely excellent, you can have some fun and chase your sports bikes mates, but you can easily flip over to the other side, have a nice relaxing ride, just use that mid-range torque and just simply enjoy it. But that's my opinion. What do my European counterparts think? Are they as happy as I am as it being a brilliant road bike, or do they think it has limitations when you start to push the boundaries?
The anticipation, at least my anticipation, was rarely as high for any motorcycle as it was for the MT-09. For me, it has always been a great motorcycle, but it somewhat disqualified itself with that supermoto-like, slightly unconventional seating position. I simply prefer a more classic seating position. Yamaha has changed that with the current generation. Now you sit like on a naked bike, but you still have, let's say, the upright, relaxed, playful feel. However, I no longer feel so disconnected, and I no longer feel like the front end is beyond my control. I believe not much has changed with the engine, as there was no need for it because the engine has always been exceptionally good in my opinion. A wonderful 3-cylinder engine that probably due to its displacement offers a bit more low-end torque compared to the street triples, a 3-cylinder. The transmission works great, the quick shifter works great, and the sound is fantastic. It makes you really happy. And the suspension, especially when you consider the price, offers a great compromise. Now that I feel more comfortable with the geometry, I can really have a lot of fun. One thing about the engine, they have fortunately improved throttle response, in my opinion. There's no longer an issue with throttle engagement. It's now very, very smooth. Of course, if you directly compare it to the Street Triple RS, which has more expensive and higher quality components, you'll notice that it's not quite as easy to maintain that precise line. Also because the seating position compared to the Street Triple is a bit more relaxed. But my overall impression or general assessment would be that for me, the MT-09 is the more practical vehicle for everyday use, and with its relaxed seating position and larger engine, it feels overall more confident.
The Yamaha MT-09 has fans in our company, and I've had so many religious debates with Max about it. I don't know why, but I always have to listen to how amazing the bike is, and I don't know why. But if I say I want something sporty for the countryside and I want to ride fast, I would take the Triumph Street Triple. And if I want to constantly ride on the back wheel around corners, I would take the KTM 990 Duke. And if I want both, I would buy both. But that's obviously a bit of a problem for me. Normal people out there probably need a motorcycle that is more universal and fulfills that universal character. You have an awesome seating position where you undeniably sit comfortably, combined with good handling. I find a better motorcycle in each segment, but overall, its qualities are fascinating. It's amazing how much utility, riding fun, and versatility you can pack into one product. We had 12 riders testing it with people from England, Poland, Germany, and Austria. And this MT-09 received points from everyone. It's fascinating how one motorcycle can make so many people happy. So Yamaha's universal approach seems to be going in the right direction.
So it definitely belongs in my top 3, I would say. I haven't ridden the older version, but it's well known that Yamaha has really improved it. A lot has been added and it's been upgraded a bit. I imagine I would have been satisfied back then as well, but this motorcycle is really great. I felt comfortable. I found the seating position fantastic. You sit well in the bike and it's not too sporty where your knees are up by your ears, but it's still engaging enough to make you want to give it some gas. The engine was also very easy to control. At every level, there was enough power for me to get through the curves just how I wanted. It's not too little, it's not too much. Even as a less experienced rider, I felt really comfortable.
Out of all the 10 test bikes we had today, I must say the MT-09 impressed me the most. In terms of seating position, it's like the Duke 390, quite close to the handlebars, and you sit deep in the engine compartment. Paired with the Bridgestone S22 tires, this bike just wants to take on curves. Even at full lean, I felt like I could let go of the handlebars and it would just keep its line. The engine, a 3-cylinder, is something I don't even need to talk about. I love 3 cylinders because they offer everything: mid-range, top end, and torque. It works perfectly. With these tires, this suspension, and these handlebars sitting deep in the bike, I have to say the MT-09 was by far the best of the 10 bikes for me today. It still retains that playful, fun bike nature. It wants to do wheelies, stoppies, and go fast. For me, it can do it all. The MT-09 impressed me the most personally, and if someone asked me which of the 10 I would choose, I would definitely put this one in my garage.
We have known the Yamaha MT-09 for many generations now. The early generations had some issues, especially with the engine tuning. We had to do a lot of optimization on the test bench. It had a very rough throttle response, making it difficult to achieve smooth acceleration. And as a rider, you really had to concentrate, which was a significant drawback in the tuning. But over the generations, up to the latest one we've ridden here, a lot has improved, especially concerning the engine, which from its basic design is incredibly well done. It has the typical 3-cylinder power delivery which has the great advantage of providing good power from low revs and still being very rev happy. Similar to what we see with the Triumph, but here with a significantly larger displacement. As a result, it has plenty of power in every situation. It works very well, and as mentioned before, the electronics have also improved over the generations. The engine tuning has greatly contributed to making today's motorcycle extremely refined. It's very easy to ride. The seating position on the MT-09 is, for me, incredibly well done. It's very comfortable, yet the bike can still be ridden sportily. This combination is not something you find everywhere. Another big advantage of this bike is that it brings a certain stability, which gives a lot of confidence in corners. This combination of very precise handling and a very easy to modulate engine with plenty of power and smooth operation makes the MT-09 really strong in its class. It is definitely a contender for the title of the best naked bike for the road.
Well-rounded package, another motorcycle where you hop on and feel comfortable right away. You can use it for just about anything. You can ride it to work, commute relaxed, even if you're sleepy in the morning, or go on a great tour with a friend. You can ride briskly, glide along very calmly and relaxed, and even take it to the track a bit. The engine has great power and torque, and it's a bike that I would say is definitely fun and highly valuable to me.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. If you want me or any of the guys here at 1000 PS to test any other bikes, please mention it below. Hopefully the guys will invite me back. If you've got any more in-depth technical questions about this bike or how it compares to other bikes, let me know below and we'll try and get back to you.